Bully with more power than sense sends abusive email, admits fraud. Hey, HR? So I work for a company that contracts out to a larger Fortune 500 company. I got the job as a follow-on to a deployment engineering contract inspecting and installing equipment for the larger company about a year and a half ago. I first encountered my nemesis towards the end of my contract when I was asked to deliver a shipment of equipment to her parts cage. Hey, you/stupid Bond villain, go deliver this pallet of spare parts to Dolores, said my boss, the project manager. You got it, boss man, said our hero. And lo, spare parts were delivered to Dolores' parts cage. Dolores herself was out FCKing off, somewhere. I took the bill of lading from the trucking company that dropped it off, put it on her desk, asked the guy behind the fence if he knew when Dolores would be back, and he said nope, but I'll let her know you stopped by. Thanks, man. My name's you/stupid Bond villain by the way. I'll send her an email to let her know I dropped by. True to my word, I sent off the confirmation email to Dolores' work inbox, and went back to work. About 2 days later, Dolores finally noticed that I had dropped off the shipment, because she starts asking if I had a parts list for her. I left the ball on your desk. That's the only list anyone gave me for you. But I can look up the part numbers that usually come in a spare parts shipment for you if you think anything's missing. Oh, no need. I'm sure everything's here. Thanks for your help. Click. Guess Dolores doesn't really care if anything's missing. Oh well. I'll never have to deal with her again. Then I got the job offer. It was for more than I was making as a contract employee, and came with benefits, so hell yeah, I took the job. I would soon be made to regret it. Part, if not all, of Dolores' job requirements is managing our billable assets, be they materiel, tools, equipment, and, sadly, our work order system that determines whether we have earned our salt. As the subject matter expert for this particular system, she has basically had carte blanche for the better part of a year to do what she pleases, and woe be it unto any who stand in her path. For my part, I was content to let her run her little fiefdom, uninhibited. Sister doing it for herself? More power to you, Dolores. Then the problems started. Since nobody reads my emails obviously, I'm going to have to explain to you all again the proper way to blah, blah, blah. I don't remember what specific issue she first started bitching about, but I did notice that everyone had a hard time hearing the signal for all the noise of her general scentiness. This was a pattern that would follow for several months. Something would not jibe with what she felt her numbers should say, and it was everyone else's fault for filling out our work orders wrong. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I made mistakes when filling out work orders. I have used many different work order and asset management systems in my time, but the in-house one this company uses is very experimental, and extremely temperamental. It was made clear to me by her erratic, scenty, behavior that any perception of competence from anyone else in her sphere is seen as a major threat. When this disturbing behavior has been brought up as a source of concern by my immediate supervisor to our senior lead at our location, his answer has been a chuckle and a shrug and well, that's just how Dolores is. Now, these guys had been working together for a good 4 months before I transferred over full-time, so they had more experience with Dolores than I did. It turns out that Dolores has the nasty habit of accusing people of bald-faced lies. Whenever they provide evidence of wrongdoing, or even honest mistakes on her end. Dolores knows all and sees all, and is not to be challenged by anyone. Dolores is law. No one is willing to stand up to Dolores because, honestly, it's never really been worth it. The closest anyone has come is when my supervisor, Steve, none of these names are real. Dolores is named after the most evil literary character of all time. Obviously, brought up an inconsistency in one of Dolores's tirades, and she screamed lies. 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 Steve is old school. Steve don't play that. Steve went straight to HR. Dolores claimed sexism and that Steve was disrespectful to her. Steve got smacked down. Dolores got cocky. Dolores has never met anyone like me. Management starts to take notice. Dolores starts to feel the heat. As the months go on, I hear more stories about the early days of Dolores's tenure. Dolores would say things like, "Oh, Company X doesn't really care if our billable hours are right. We're kind of expected to fudge the numbers." Annie would take issue with this, and bring it up to Steve. Lies, lies, lies. And besides, Annie just doesn't like Dolores because Dolores has a vagina. Ovs. Everyone not in Dolores's little clique is stupid. Okay. I'll play your silly little game. Our shift starts putting up big numbers. Management takes notice. Dolores didn't authorize our success. That can't be right. Steve and Annie are stupid. Let's see how they like this. Work orders come down. Preventive maintenance that oops. Didn't make it into the usual rotation. Suddenly starts to hit. New requirements come down in how to fill out work orders. They contradict themselves and are replaced 2 weeks later. We meet the challenge. We persevere. We rise. Dolores balks. Must be cheating. I start asking questions. Dolores doesn't like questions. I make very respectful requests for assistance or requisitions of assets to prove that Dolores spends more time OFO than actually doing her job. I devise our own work order system. Dolores doesn't like that techs can close their own work orders, but is very lazy, so she insists that we create our own. It's not my job to enter data for you. I find documentation that spells out her job. That's literally one of the first 3 bullet points. I say nothing, because Dolores needs more rope. I offer more assistance. Dolores starts to get angry. Management watching closer, now. Harder and harder to do our job. Dolores loses a shipment. New guys start. Dolores gives them training. Repeats as long as my reporting matrix is green. Company X doesn't really care what the numbers say. Dolores starts leaving doors open, and shares passwords with our shift, hoping someone will take the bait, and compromise her system. Dolores is stupid, and believes that willfully exposing our system to penetration will give her a handy way out. It's not my fault. I was hacked. Is the obvious way this will end up. All the guys on our shift agree trap? Trap. I continue asking for / offering help. Asking for data. Being real nice and sympathetic. Basically forcing her to either acknowledge my existence or continue to appear unprofessional by ignoring my email. I reply all to lots of her passive-aggressive emails to our team with actual solutions. I publicly ask stupid questions, since we never got the correct training, still haven't. She finally snaps, and responds to me directly, when I point out that deviating from a specific workflow will cause certain data to be omitted from a certain data field. Dolores is livid. Dolores has been drinking. Dolores writes an absolutely scathing and threatening email, telling me that a lowly tech could not possibly understand the complexities of her system, and that the loophole that I found, and was encouraging my co-workers to close, was evidence of a conspiracy against her. Besides, I had already obviously mastered that portion, so why then would I bring it up, except to discredit her? Ha! This new system will be very big this year, and she will be very important, and she has first-hand knowledge that people have been falsifying data, and she has taken steps to hide this fact, and I had better watch out, because only she is the one who has been keeping our facility off the radar with management. So, she admits to being aware of falsified data, very possible, and admits to hiding it from our employer, and admits that she intends to continue to falsify data, and strongly suggests that she can make it appear that I'm the one who has been behind it all. I blow the whistle. I email HR. I use all the right buzzwords to ensure an immediate response. HR assures me that my employment is secure. Dolores has been under observation for some time. Money has gone missing. Supplies have been misplaced. An ethics probe was launched today. This evening, Steve smiled at me, shook my hand, and wished me a safe trip. I'm going on vacation with my family. I love my job. TL, Doctor, I work with Dolores F. King Umbridge. She's been cooking the books, and just admitted to her evil plan in a work email. Comment, like and subscribe for more great content.